Okay, today I'm going to show you how to mix skin tones with mostly our primary colors. So red, yellow, and blue. I can't cover all of the skin tones, but I will try to get quite a few. So obviously we might need to use some white or black or maybe sometimes some brown to darken the tones. So what I've done is I've grabbed a bunch of white. I'm going to start with a light tone. So I can grab a little bit of yellow and a little bit of orange and mix that together to see what happens. And this looks pretty nice for like a fair or light colored skin tone. So if I put that on my paper, it looks like that. Say I want to darken it a little bit, I could grab a little red and maybe a touch more yellow because this looks really, really pink. Although if I'm trying to do some rosy cheeks, maybe that is the color that I'm after. So again, a little bit more yellow will kind of neutralize or work with that red. So again, it's a little pink, but I'm getting some nice shades. If I want to darken the skin tone, I'm gonna grab a little bit of blue and kind of mix that in. I think that made a nice tone. So you can see I'm starting to get a little bit darker. If I grab a little more blue, the thing you have to be careful with is you want to still make sure it's a nice lifelike kind of color. So too much blue might make it look a little bit not quite like what you're after. So I added in a little bit of brown. And I'm getting some tanner colors. I'm gonna add a little bit of red back into it to warm it back up. Take a look at this color. Again, adding a little bit of blue, even a touch of black if I want to get darker now. So it just kind of depends on the skin tone that you're after and what you're trying to do. But red, yellow, blue, white, black, sometimes brown. Because of the nature of the paint that I'm using, I'm gonna add in some more brown. I try not to ever just use that brown color. I try to kind of mix my own skin tones. So with some brown in it, I'm getting something kind of like that. I'm trying to get a wide variety of skin tones. So I'm trying to go even darker here. A lot of times when you're, it's looking a little bit purple, so I'm going to neutralize that with some yellow. So anytime I use a color's complement, you can kind of move it in the other direction. If it look too purple, bring in some yellow. A little bit more of a flesh tone there, some black. And anytime it kind of doesn't look lifelike or it doesn't look really skin-like, I'm gonna bring in some of my warm red again. As I was saying, like the nature of this paint, it's not the best paint. So depending on what you're using, you might be able to get those darker colors without worrying about adding in like your own black and brown. It's looking very warm, so again, maybe just a little bit of blue. Kind of close to what I'm after. So don't be afraid to mix those colors up. Again, it's looking really purpley, so I'm gonna bring in more yellow. I like to mix on the palette here. I could mix just half the paint and kind of practice with that, but I like to keep those wells where I keep the colors. Obviously orange is secondary colors. If I mix yellow and red, I make orange, so you didn't see me adding in a lot of that, but I'm trying to get some nice darker tones. Like that's a nice tone for someone with darker skin. So kind of experimenting with what you have will help you get a variety of skin tones. So there you can see I got quite a few skin tones, just using mostly my primary colors with a little bit of orange, maybe black and brown as well.